All right, so today is should have had it up. Today is April 23rd, 2025. Um, I took 3 trades today. I did not have my trader rate up to actually show, but I'll just have to open it up on another computer. Give me 1 minute to get the timeline of the trades. All right, so obviously that's my first trade. All right, so all right. So my first trade came in at 9:30 or 9:30, right at the open. I said, "I'm gonna take a trade." Shoot, that's my second trade. All right, so my first trade came right here. 9:30, 34. Yep, that's exactly it. Um, Kind of far from where I needed to be at. I probably entered it and just shot through. Um, we're at a 4 hour and a 1 hour level. The 4 hour and the 1 hour did close there. We did get some form of absorption on the 30 minutes, so I said, okay, looks like we're ready to go. We do have a level here from the NQ level, and we'd also have this here, so I wanted to see price kind of like hold, look like it was holding. So I entered the trade, and then about a minute later I was stopped out. Alright, I entered, and alright, stopped out. Just like that. Price was pretty relentless. I should have just waited. Right, yeah, we got this here, but I needed something more, and I think I was still rushing the process because this is not a selling absorption. This is more like a buying absorption, but nonetheless, it's still an absorption nonetheless. If this was pink, it would have been better. Um, but it is what it is. I did attempt it. I tried it. I had the absorption here, absorption there. Wanted to give it a shot. Next trade came in 32, about 2 minutes later. Right about here, right? Price started really pushing away. I entered when price was rejecting the level, and then price basically just took me out right about there, right? So price never. I stopped looking at the regular time frames and got so involved in the tick chart that I missed the whole entire view of the actual market itself, right? Try to bring that over. So this is basically it. So first entry. So I had this level here, not really the strongest selling level. If I'm gonna be blunt, right? Actually, it is one of the strongest levels selling of that day, of the time. So but price came and I already started moving, right? And then so I entered here to my two trade marks, two cardio moves away. Probably could have waited for price to come a little bit deeper, but this is what I marked. And then I got stopped out. And then we had this here. I said, okay, look, where to go? Entered again, and I got stopped out. I said, okay, this is not working out in my benefit. Both of them were entered with 5 micros. First one was negative 187. The other one was negative just 81. I said, okay. So I wanted to I do have a policy to I'm working on just trading 2 trades, and I'm done for the day. Um, all right, let's find what my thing is and what it says. Let's see here. Labeling, breakout, entry, execution, risk management. Okay, so risking no more than 150 per trade, right? That was pretty good. I did end up risking 187 on the first one because they kind of like threw me into that trade, and then other one I got stopped out at $81, right? So if I was risking 150, I was supposed to size down anyways to like 75, so more or less, um, it worked out, but I did take a third trade. All right, to take candle, break even. Okay, one win, no more. So if I win, no more trades. So I break even, look for another entry. If I lost, reassess limit to one more trade. All right, so I'm supposed to take only just 2 trades and I'm supposed to dial back. So I did feel like I was getting frustrated here, right? Because it was like bam, bam, stop, and I felt like we're supposed to be short, but look, we're still in buying territory. But still feeling like we should have been short. But I was very so looking at just the tick chart that I lost focus of the candle structure. So let's go back to the video. All right. So after that, I basically just waited an hour. I don't know why that's up. I waited an hour, right? This happened. I said, oh hell, right? Now price wants to work out. Something happened there, and I thought we were good, and then price just puked in the opposite look in the opposite direction. I was like, what the fuck is happening? What the hell was that? Right? That was an extreme puke in just the opposite direction. Nothing whatsoever. I think someone said that Trump said something about easing off of the tariffs with China at that time, and that's what caused that spike. But it price was all over the damn place. I don't know. I might have to find me something that's just more stable, because the markets are just this does not even feel right. So after I saw that, because I was gonna look for another short, but after I saw that, I said, okay, I'm just gonna wait it out, because I know my strategy makes sense. So I waited it out. I waited till 10:30. So let's jump forward a little bit. So we got a rejection up there, kind of like this right here. I'm marking a level right here. I want to look for a short at this level right here. Then we get the spike. I said, what the hell again, right? 10 o'clock, switch, spike. I said, okay. Don't know what to do with that information. Price comes exactly to it very nicely, and then it does a great rejection, right? So we came back to that level, and price just started rejecting, and this is the level I wanted to enter into. So this kind of pissed me off. Right, nice rejection right for the lows down there. I believe we got to like 45 or something like that. All right, yeah, 455. That's what okay, that's what. Boom, got to that level of the previous this here. All right, so now here comes my entry. My entry came in at nope, never mind. I got about 10 more minutes. Trying to make sense of it. Still seeing selling on the tick chart. Still seeing selling, still seeing selling, still seeing selling. Trying to make sense of it. All right, every time we bought, we sold. Every time we sold, we bought. All right, now we're getting volume pushing back into that level. There was some RSIs on the tick chart. As you can see, that we had a resistance level. So maybe I could have marked it. Alright, so alright, that's my entry right here. This is where I entered. So at 45488 was my entry. Stop loss was probably 5495, I believe. Nope, 5499. That felt like it was stupid. Let's pull up our calculator. Let's see here. How much am I risking? 5488 minus 5499 times 15. Okay, so 165. So I think I was risking about 150. Right. So mind you, I'm already down 187.50 and minus plus set plus. Oh man. So 11.55 times 15. What? How did it jump up? 11 times 15 plus 187.5 plus 81.25, right? So I would have been down $433, which is about half of my combine on that one, on this extra trade right here, if I got stopped out. All right, so something told me to just close out the charts and walk away, but I felt like things were just going to work out, which is kind of like a bad idea, but it felt good. But I was ready to just accept the consequences. But this was probably the best trade that I could think of. We had, as you can see, that we had the absorption level here on the 15 minute. I like this kind of candle, and it looks like it was ready to go. Right? If you look at the other, there's another thing that came out of the tick chart, and it looked like it was ready to go. We actually had, unlike my first trade, we actually had selling on the 15-minute time frame, which is a higher time frame. My first trade, we did not have selling. That's that, right? We only had absorption. So I did not wait for selling in my first two trades. So if we go back to those times, right at the end, right at the open, all right, we can see that we have buying on the 15 minute, but the 15 minute is not going to drive this down. We have selling. Oh yeah, we did have selling. We had selling here. This is what I saw. We had selling on this tick chart here. That is right. We had selling on the tick chart on the 15 minute. This was a 15 minute that caught my attention, but there's no selling here. I probably did a stronger selling. And this is a 4 hour and a 1 hour zone. So I was looking at the 15 minute. I needed probably two selling from the 15 minute. We had some selling here, but then price moved higher and had more selling. So yeah, probably just needed to wait. So anywho's, here we do have an absorption. So maybe I also needed an absorption from then selling from these higher time frame, because we had absorption here, but it was buying and we didn't have selling. We did we kind of had selling. This is this one here, right? And then we just kind of like destroyed it. Then we already had another absorption right here. So I don't know, kind of tough to really work with this. Then we had another strong selling here. That sellers really stepped in, so I may just needed to just wait a little bit. But back to what I was trying to say here. So I entered after we had this sell here. I entered here. Price threw me over here. Here we're gonna have a buying absorption right here. I like this. Look like buyers were ready to go, and then it got absorbed. This is probably where I could have entered again. I thought about entering, but I moved my stop loss to that new level now. So now instead of risking as much as I thought I was risking, I moved it down to 54.90. Right? So 5488 minus 54.90. No, it's not 54.90. 54. 5488 minus 54. Let's call it 97. Right? So now I'm risking like 135. So I did fix that. And then once price lifted, I think once price broke below that, I was at break even around this time. I should be at break even. So 5488, we're down about over 10 points. Alright, so here we go. And my goal is actually to come right back down here, this even further. So we had a nice bounce here, and then we had this one here, and I really like this second bounce. Really like the selling that I got here. I like this absorption here. It looked good. I'm in 3, and then this is what happened. And after that, I think 11. Yeah, way before that. So right here, price just stopped me out at 11 o'clock 52. Price just stopped me out, and this is where price was. My break even was way up here. Price stopped me up way down there. my take profit was way down here, right? I moved it physically, but price just stopped me out. This is a tick chart. Not sure what was happening, but price stopped me out. I was trying to make sense of it, and then this happened. So price stopped me out, and I saw this. No. This is where price stopped me out here. Yeah, at 52, at 11 o'clock and 52 seconds. So let me bring it back just a tad bit. Let's see if I can even catch it. Right. All right. So price stopped me out right here at 54. Yeah, 5466.50 is where price stopped me out at. So we had a spike, went down to this level and spiked right back up. Right, and yes, I was a little weary of what the heck was happening. I still had my stop loss where it was at, but it just went or the field. I said, oh, okay. Didn't see that coming. Okay. Thankfully it stopped me out in profit, but I had a lot more to make out of that. Alright, the goal was I entered at 5488.75 minus 5466.50 is where it stopped me out at the time 15. Alright, that's what I got from that trade, right? So making up, both of those losses. But 5488.75, maybe stopping out at 5455 times 15. That's a big difference, right? So minus 33.75, that's an X, plus 33.75 minus 333.75, right? That's $172 left the table, right? Which would have made up way more than what those losses were, right? So yeah, I thought about leaving my stop loss there in case of the spike, but I also thought about, well, I guess I got greedy. Thought about price really just hammering down, because I thought it was ready to drive down price, and and then price spiked up, right? Never went up to 5488. So now I'm just marking like, what the heck just happened? I don't know what happened. I'm marking my levels. Why did I get out at this level? There's no volume in this thing here. We didn't have this volume here. This is the thing I was talking about, the absorption, and then drop, because that looked good. But yeah, I said, oh, maybe price is gonna go back up, but I was willing to take that risk. I was willing to take a break-even trade on that one, and just calling there. But price destroyed that level again. Another spike. What time was that spike? Boom, right at 23. Another spike. Our price is dropping for no freaking reason. Right, destroyed that level again, and that's where I had my stop loss at 5435. Don't know why, but I just moved it there. I was moving there. I was actually gonna aim for all the way to 5401 if I could. I was gonna start tracking it. All right, but these are all hypotheticals now. They're no longer valid. 5488 minus 5435 times 15, right? This is already up 795, right? All hypotheticals now. Price pushes down here. We got a strong selling now, and I thought about that because, well, we're in a higher time frame. I thought we got one. We're likely gonna get 2 to 3 big pushes from that. And that's really what I was looking for, and we got that push. And we have 5410. That would have been a preferred exit right there. So 5488 minus 5410 times 15. Right, we had $1,170 on just 3 micros. Yep, and that would have made up the minus 187.50 and minus 81.25. I would have been happy with that on $900 day after taking 2 losses. $900 day, and then just walking away. All right. Because this is a higher time frame, I do have to wait for higher time frame stuff. So probably just needed my absorption to make sense on this. 1 hour. The 30 minute was also pretty cool, but the 1 hour worked well. And then I think we got maybe another candle after that 1 hour that pushed that, right? Could have exited somewhere around there, right? Back into that resistance level, which worked pretty well. But the full hour, yeah. So price eventually continued dropping, um, and then kind of like stayed sideways actually. No, but from here to 12, this is pretty damn good, right? I would have loved that one move down, and then we kind of like stayed right there. So that was basically it. That was it for me for today. That was basically my trades. I didn't take anything else after those three trades. I just felt pretty defeated because price did its own thing, and I felt robbed. I felt robbed and jaded, right? Because I don't know what the heck that was about. This was the worst I've ever seen this happen. So I don't know. Maybe just the New York Times probably not the best to trade, but the level ideas work well. Anyways, I'm done for today.